You step across the aisle and maybe try to convince Senator Warren from Massachusetts to come and be the ambassador to Tonga or someplace like that?
No, she wouldn't be my first choice. You know, she's been a very, very poor senator. She's passed
but Tonga's pretty far away.
Little legislation. She has been. No, you know, the funny thing about Elizabeth Warren, she's been a lousy senator. She's done a terrible job.
Yeah, but she hasn't been in there that long.
You know, this presence where she's done a terrible job.
Do you regret calling her Pocahontas? Do you regret that?
I do regret calling her Pocahontas because I think it's a tremendous insult to Pocahontas.
Right.
So to Pocahontas, I would like to apologize to you.
All right. So I don't see a lot of reaching across the aisle, but who knows?
Because you're very, very special people. You were here long before any of us were here. Although we have a representative in Congress who they say was here a long time ago. They call her Pocahontas. But you know what? I like you.
At the event that the president just did with the Navajo code talkers, he referred to Pocahontas being in the Senate. Why did he feel the need to say something that is offensive to many people while honoring the Navajo code talkers, these genuine American
I think
heroes?
What most people find offensive is Senator Warren lying about her heritage to advance her career.
Now, she said it was a racial slur. She said it was a racial slur. What is your response to that?
I think that's a ridiculous response.
Stephen, just follow up with that, because the president was speaking at an event to honor members of the greatest generation, people who fought in World War II, who are in their 80s and 90s now. And the moment had many people online asking whether the president lacks decency. What's your response to that notion?
Look, I think the president certainly finds an extreme amount of value and respect for these individuals, which is why he brought them and invited them to come to the White House and spent time with them, recognizing them and honoring them today. So I think he is constantly showing ways to honor those individuals, and he invited them here at the White House today to meet with them and to also remind everybody about what the historic role that they played many years ago. Kristen.
Why is it appropriate?
Senator, you may not even know this yet because this happened just a few moments ago, but the president, who was made what was apparently supposed to be a joke while addressing the Navajo code talkers today, saying, we have a representative in Congress who's been here a long time, longer than you. They call her Pocahontas. Let's listen to this with me, please.
You were here long before any of us were here. Although we have a representative in Congress who they say was here a long time ago. They call her Pocahontas. But you know what? I like you because you are special. You are.
Senator, do you have any response to that?
You know, this was supposed to be an event to honor heroes, people who put it all on the line for our country, and people who, because of their incredible work, saved the lives of countless Americans and our allies. It is deeply unfortunate that the President of the United States cannot even make it through a ceremony honoring these heroes without having to throw out a racial slur. Look, Donald Trump does this over and over, thinking somehow he's going to shut me up with it. It hadn't worked in the past. It is not going to work in the future.
Only one candidate in the general election came to speak to you, and that candidate is now the President of the United States standing before you again. I have a feeling that in the next election, you're going to be swamped with candidates, but you're not going to be wasting your time. You'll have plenty of those Democrats coming over, and you're going to say, no, sir, no, thank you. No, ma'am, perhaps, ma'am. It may be Pocahontas. Remember that. And she is not big for the NRA, that I can tell you.
Hillary Clinton is getting some tag team help against Donald Trump. Senator and fellow Democrat Elizabeth Warren slamming Trump for his comments a decade ago, where he said that he hoped a housing market crash would happen so he could profit from it. Here's Warren.
Donald Trump
was drooling over the idea of a housing meltdown because it meant he could buy up more property on the cheap. What kind of a man does that? I'll tell you exactly what kind of a man does that. It is a man who cares about no one but himself. A small, insecure money grubber who doesn't care who gets hurt so long as he makes a profit off it. What kind of a man does that? A man who will never be president of the United States.
Now, Trump firing back at Warren. Watch what he said.
Oh, Hillary Clinton has somebody. Did you ever hear of Pocahontas? Huh? It's Pocahontas, Elizabeth Warren. She was going out. She is probably the senator that's doing just about the least in the United States Senate. She's a total failure. She said she was an Indian. She said because her cheekbones were high, she was an Indian, that she was Native American. And, you know, we have these surrogates, people like her, total failures.
Republican president who just presented another tax plan, which is, I mean, I've seen Republican tax plans like this, but not quite as brazen, because this one doesn't even pretend. It's just about, wouldn't it be great if rich people didn't pay taxes?
Right.
But he's going to go to a rally in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania tomorrow and tell his fans all about this, about how his kids are not going to have to pay taxes because they got rid of the estate tax. And they're still with him. They're not with you. Explain to me what that disconnection is.
Actually, I'm going to push back. I disagree with you. When you talk...
Well, his fans are not with you.
Hold on.
Come on.
When we
They don't like you, Pocahontas.
When you talk about what's really the basic pieces...
Because you're very, very special people. You were here long before any of us were here. Although we have a representative in Congress who they say was here a long time ago. They call her Pocahontas. But you know what? I like you.
Warren, she seems to have made it her job.
Who, Pocahontas? Pocahontas. Well, no, she's. Look. She is.
It's very offensive.
You tell me. Oh, really? Oh, I'm sorry about that. Pocahontas. So what you said? Elizabeth Warren. She is. No. She tweets a lot about me. Every once in a while, I'll tweet. And when I tweet, you know, not that many people are watching her tweets. When I tweet, they watch. I will say this. Look, she is a senator that's highly overrated. She's passed very little legislation. She has been a real disaster for a lot of people, including the Democrats, who frankly can't stand her, many of the Democrats. Just ask Hillary Clinton how she likes her. And I would say this. I'll debate anybody. I don't care. I'd debate her. But she's done very little for Massachusetts. And the beautiful thing is when I won Massachusetts, with many people running against me, I got up to almost 50%. And she was fighting me. So I really think if her record was exposed, and the fact that she was a Native American, she said she was Native American, but she wasn't able to document it. She said, well, I have high cheekbones. You see, I have high cheekbones, so I'm a Native American. And she then, I don't know if you'd call it a fraud or not, but she was able to get into various schools because of the fact she applied as a Native American and probably able to get other things. I think she's as Native American as I am, okay? That I will tell you. But she's a woman that's been very ineffective, other than she's got a big mouth.
You step across the aisle and maybe try to convince Senator Warren from Massachusetts to come and be the ambassador to Tonga or someplace like that?
No, she wouldn't be my first choice. You know, she's been a very, very poor senator. She's passed
but Tonga's pretty far away.
Little legislation. She has been. No, you know the funny thing about Elizabeth Warren, she's been a lousy senator. She's done a terrible job.
Yeah, but she hasn't been in there that long.
You know, this presence where she's done a terrible job.
Do you regret calling her Pocahontas? Do you regret that?
I do regret calling her Pocahontas because I think it's a tremendous insult to Pocahontas.
Right.
So to Pocahontas, I would like to apologize to you.
All right, so I don't